to season 2 of the Rooted Connections podcast. I can't believe that we did a whole season and we're here again starting season 2. And it's really been I would say an interesting journey. But before we go into that, it's your girl Pam.
Hi everyone, it's Uju. Welcome back to the Rooted Connections podcast. If you're new here, welcome.
Mm-hmm.
For those who've been hanging with us a whole season, we appreciate you. Welcome back.
Lots of love. Thank you guys so much. I would say that we definitely felt the love. We felt the love. We felt all the emotions. We had all the feedback. In fact, we're going to delve into that. But as we do with our RC Pod fam, we always start off with a reflection card.
Mm-hmm.
So, for this card, okay.
What's up? Tell me.
No, it's a good one. It's an interesting one. I like it.
All right, let's go. Let's have it.
Okay. So the question is, what is the most important thing you've learned from your mother and father?
Oh, it's quite a deep one. I think for me, the thing that I've learned the most from watching them, not so much necessarily by what they've taught or said, is two things really. One is integrity,
right,
and the second is hard work. You know, your name is your value.
Yes,
that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that to stand up to your integrity. And I've watched my parents, leave that. Their word is their bond. They're very private people to an extent, they don't pry into what doesn't concern them. But I've seen both of them really when, people are having issues, they're the ones they come to because you know that this person has integrity. And of course, hard work. My dad has always drilled that. He's one of the firm believers that if you put in the work, you get the results. Forget what every other person is doing. And I even remember when I say go back to this integrity, I remember when I did jam, and my score was kind of like, those borderline scores. And someone was saying, but this person, go and talk to them. And he's like, no, she'll redo it. Because he was trying to teach me that, yes, I can go and speak to somebody, but you need to get the score. You need to go and read and pass and get the score. So I was like, why is this man stressing me out? But I didn't get the message at the time.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't quite understand what he was trying to teach me. But he was trying to get at, you don't take shortcuts in life. If you want to do it, work for it.
Sure. Oh, that's deep. That's really deep. But I've met your parents, so I can absolutely see that. Your dad, I call him Professor.
Very soft-spoken professor.
Very soft-spoken. Very, very, very intelligent. Extremely intelligent. Your mom is one of those. She's so wise. She's so wise. She says things, and I don't even think she realizes
how profound what she's saying sometimes.
Yeah, she
That's
just
true.
says those things, and for her, she said it and she's moved on. But her words stay with you. Your parents are. They're like my parents as well. So I've adopted them. But when you're naughty,
adopted you actually.
But when you're naughty, which has worked a lot.
Wow.
If you try yourself, I report you.
Wow.
Even right now, safe.
Well, to be fair, and they'll take your side. That's the worst part. That's the worst part.
Exactly. So
they will take your side.
Behave yourself. So for me, what have I learned? I think I'll speak individually and together. So I think for me, one of the things I've learned from my dad is that love is so multidimensional.
Absolutely.
My dad is one of those people who loves deeply, and not just his children. I think I've learned the meaning of being a kind and generous person.
Absolutely.
From my dad. And he does it so selflessly, effortlessly to anyone, anybody. My dad is one of those people who has had the same people work for him for years. And when he's around the people that, when he's with his workers, yes, you can probably tell, oh, this is Oga, but like he's so down to earth with them. He eats with them, laughs with them, jokes with them. My dad takes on responsibilities that you'd be like, well, why? But that's just his nature. It's one of the things I've learned from him. And, and when I think about it, it really it warms up my heart that. And I'm not saying that because he's my dad. I'm saying that because of who he is as a person and what he stands for.
Absolutely.
I've learned discipline from my mom. My mom also loves, but my mom's love is hard love. She loves in a way that she wants the best for you. She wants but somehow she goes around it in the opposite direction.
It doesn't feel like love in the moment.
Like in the moment.
Yeah.
But actually, when you stop and think about it and you give her okay, I see why she, and I'm now learning. And actually, I think it's balanced me as a person, where having the kind of love I've had from both my parents, for me as an individual, and the way they've poured themselves into me, I would say that I wouldn't say I'm as kind as my dad, but neither would I say I'm as hard as my mom. So I think in terms of balance, it's balanced me as an individual.
Yeah.
So I would say that is, one of
things you learned
from them.
Yeah, I can see that. Your dad is very, what I call it, selfless.
Yeah.
In the way, even when the thing that he's doing, when you think about it, you're like, this thing doesn't make sense. Daddy, how fun? Can you not see that this person is just trying to? And it's like, no, let's just do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
And he's still one of the few people that believes that he can't leave you without giving you something. He has that anywhere he goes, even though you might have more than him, he's just like, no, take. That's just him, because that's how he is.
And honestly, I believe that God has a special blessing and grace that he gives to him because of that, his nature.
Yeah.
Because it's like the more he pours of himself, somehow God, even though people may want to take advantage of him, God himself opens doors for him. And
I think his wife's prayer as well.
He's all God now. He's all God.
Constant.
Absolutely. You have to. She knows the nature of her husband, so she has to back him up fully.
Absolutely. So, wow, that made me think. I'm sure there's a lot more, but I can't think right now. But I feel when the question came to those were the
two main things that
I had
that came to you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I suppose if I was going to add any other thing, the one thing that's with my dad particularly, he's an avid learner. He's constantly learning. At his age, he wants to do everything by himself. I told you my dad is on LinkedIn, and I'm like, sir, what are you doing there? But it's the fact that he got the prompt and I thought, okay, this is what people are doing. Like, he's so curious, and he wants to learn. He wants to do it himself. He wants to set up his computer himself. He wants to, this is the new trend. Why? How does it work?
Because you're just like, are you on the social media?
Yes, now.
Are you on the social media? And I just found it so funny the way he asked the question.
For context, he's 87. So just so you can understand where we are, when I say he's an avid learner.
Yeah.
And so nothing passes him. If he sees something, he can't understand it. He wants to know why. He's one of those people that still reads manual. You buy something, you read the manual first.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're too fickle for manual. You work, if it doesn't work, then you go and check the manual. Have you ever read the manual for your phone?
No. No. And I think, okay, just to add as well, one of the things I would say is my parents taught me the meaning of home is always a safe space.
That's the deep lesson, actually.
No matter what you have done, never be afraid to come home. And that has always stayed with me. There's so many things that that on average, if typical Nigerian children should do, which I have done, which I'm not going to share on the podcast. But if you know, you know. And my parents have forgiven, and allowed me. And I would say my siblings, my brother who's passed, and my youngest as well, we have never been, no matter what we do, we have never been afraid to go home.
Mm.
And I don't mean like home physically,
Yeah.
but being able to reach out to our parents regardless.
And that's one of the most important things that a parent can actually pass down to their child. I was talking with someone the other day, and how the same thing, which is the thing she was saying, that's the legacy she wants to pass to her children. But the way she phrased it is, there's always food at home.
Yeah.
So it's the same concept of, home. This will always be available for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So on reflections then, on season
Yeah.
1.
Reflections.
So I'll ask the question. Oh my goodness. What was that?
I want to sing now.
Oh,
We're spicing it up.
You want to
Yeah.
sing? Okay.
Reflections.
Wow. At least you can sing. Guys, don't let me sing for you
Sing
because
now. Let's
no.
sing. Let's do it.
So that they'll come back to the next
They'll
episode.
come back just to hear it.
No. It shall not be
No
happening.
problem.
It shall not be
I
happening.
gave you the chance, so
I try. You
turned
tried.
it down, no.
I did.
These
So
days, you don't need to have a Beyonce voice to make it to blow.
to blow a bee. Maybe that's where I'm missing it.
Yeah.
You
and I know you cannot sing, but it doesn't matter. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
You see, this Pamela is wicked. Yeah? You see she's wicked. You see that she's very wicked. Please.
Just be honest, isn't it?
So you know
mean
that, but you now say I should on
But it's not
the internet, I should come and sing.
It's not the worst I've heard. You can hold a tune or two.
True.
You can.
True.
It's just taking it up a notch.
Yeah.
You struggle a little bit.
It's not one of my skill sets. Let's put it that way.
Anyway, moving on.
So, looking back on season 1 then, what was it what you expected it to be? Getting into podcasting?
I think it was a bit of a slow burner at first.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it got to a point where I wouldn't lie, I was like, oh God, this is just dragging. I think for me, I didn't realize how much work and how much dedication it required. I think when you're watching and listening to podcasts, and yes, there are good, bad, or in between podcasts, different ones that we had to listen to. You don't actually realize how much effort goes into it.
Absolutely.
And so I found it, I think there were times where I was like, oh no, this is just not worth it. I can't be bothered. But I think as soon as we launched and the episode started to go out, I started to feel uplifted. Started to feel happy. Because I think just like with anything else, whatever you put in is what you get out of it.
Absolutely.
So I think we have a very strong team behind us. We're not a lot, but the people that have really supported us and help us
absolutely
morally, financially, physically, our production team. they have I think kudos to them. So yes, I would say, to answer the question, it was a slow burner, but I think it eventually surpassed my expectations.
Oh, okay. I would say it's quite similar in the sense that, in terms of not realizing how much work actually goes into it. You think it's just, you just come, you just talk, post it, job done. But I think part of it is because as well, we try to hold ourselves to a certain standard.
Yeah.
In terms of the quality of what we put out, the quality of our conversations. It was not just, we didn't intend to be a podcast for podcast sake.
Yeah.
And that meant that we had to do a little extra. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And even when you think, let's just put it like this, it's okay. And you look at it again and you think, okay, no, I'll stay up till 3 a.m. There were many, too many 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Reflecting back to the first one when it dropped, I didn't sleep at all. Part of it is the panic.
Yeah.
So there was, editing and not editing really, uploading everything, writing the text, and second guessing yourself. You've done all this work. It looks nice, but then you second guess yourself that
How is it going to be
how is
received?
it going to be
I
received, you
think
know?
we had a lot of conversations around that. How is it going to be received? Is at these topics that, although in our day to day life, these are conversations we're having with our peers, with our friends.
Mhm.
These are common themes that come up in our circle. But there's a massive difference when you put your thoughts out there.
Mhm.
Once it's out there, there's nothing you can do. You can't take it back. It's out there. So I think for us, it was hoping that we knew we had the right intentions, but,
Yep.
but we're hoping that we could articulate that in a way that would resonate with other people as well,
Mhm.
which I found it did to a certain extent.
Absolutely. Because I know the number of conversations that, or the messages that I've gotten after, was like, oh, I listened to that episode, this thing you said, or this thing you guys that, in fact, someone messaged me and said, you are doing the Lord's work. I
Mm.
was like, oh wow,
Mm.
that's deep, because she was saying, I think I remember it was the domestic violence episode.
Yes.
And it was because we spoke about actually domestic violence in men.
Mm.
And then she messaged me and she's like, because it was personal to her, because she, experienced or worked with people who had experienced domestic violence. That's men. And she's like, it's really not spoken about a lot.
Enough. Yeah.
So those were the things that made season one worth it for me. The
Mm-hmm.
feedback that we got from people
Yeah.
of actually this conversation needed to be had,
Yeah.
and it was enriching for me to listen to it.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. I'm not going to name names, but I think one of the things I found interesting was mindset.
Oh yeah.
I think that was one of the things that we I mean, I do not apologize for my views. My views are my views,
Mm.
and I but I found that people expect you to be static in how you were raised. Like, when I mean static, I mean that there's that expectation that because you are African, because you're Nigerian, and we hold certain values and certain standards, that those things do not shift with your life experiences. You're
Mm.
expected to stay in that space, in that place. But actually, life is about learning.
Of course.
Life is about, allowing yourself to experience what is more than this. Is
Mm.
this right? Is this wrong?
Mm.
The ability to critique how we were raised, because
Mm.
I think that's really the, should I say, the point of the conversations that we've had, and why we thought actually this needs to be more projected,
Mm.
you know. And so one, I wouldn't say, I think it was a very small percentage, but one of the things that I found interesting was some of the feedback we got was, oh, why would you talk about, your parents in this way? And I was like, actually, we weren't being overly critical of our parents. I think to a large extent it made us understand why. I think it was the why that we understood, in terms of why we were raised how we were
Mm.
raised, and which is some of the things that we talked about on the podcast. So I just found that really interesting.
Yeah. And I think ultimately where we landed on with those conversations, and I think a lot of even the comments that we got were that our parents did the best that they could
Mm.
with the
What they had at the
information and
time.
what they had at the time. And we just need to learn the lessons from the good lessons from what they wanted to pass on to us. We've spoken about those things today. You've said love, you've said discipline. Those things wouldn't have been there without, your parents. So we've taken the good things they've passed on to us, and then we're trying to improve and
Yeah.
modify and adapt. And I'm sure there are things that our children will come back and say, mommy didn't get this right.
You're already seeing.
And but absolutely, but that's the thing. But I suppose the difference between our parenting and our parents is the fact that they can
Mm.
tell us this, this, we don't think you're doing it correctly,
Yeah.
and then we listen.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hard as it is, we listen.
We don't judge. Sorry, I can't
I
help
knew you would
myself.
say that. I knew you would say that.
I'm sorry, I can't help it. Anyway, so um what episodes did you find the most interesting, or did you enjoy shooting the most?
Um, Enjoy shooting. I would say The first one was not the ones I enjoyed the most, funny enough,
Mm.
which was the getting to know us, because it was very relaxed conversation. It was just about this is who we are. So I actually, it's very odd, but I actually, in terms of enjoying,
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Which one was yours?
I found the one that we did with Amaka, the self-care one.
Mm.
That for me was, I really enjoyed that one. I think finding that I wasn't under pressure to be the one to provide the answers to the questions. Even though, yeah, I mean, it was nice that we had a guest. I think
Yeah,
I was excited that we had our first
our
guest
very
as
first
well.
guest. Yeah,
And it was such a wonderfully received episode.
absolutely.
I think it was a conversation that people needed to have.
Mm.
And I think one of the things that resonated actually that I hadn't quite thought about is that community self-care
Yeah.
and how we facilitate that here.
Mm.
Because a lot of the time we move here and we lose ourselves.
Absolutely.
So being reminded that actually self-care isn't really about
Going to the
you,
spa.
about going to the spa. It's leaning into the support that you have around you, and actually you identifying that support for yourself.
Mm.
That then helps and opens up how you can look after yourself per se.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that I
She,
really enjoyed that.
yeah, she dropped a lot of gems, I have to say. That was a really good one. Even the episode with Winfair as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was beautiful.
That blew my mind. Some of the things that she was saying, because we never really thought about, ADHD and autism in quite the same way. She
Mm.
pointed out some things, and it's kind of, changed my outlook on how, particularly with adults, actually,
Yeah.
because it's easy to make the excuse, or what's the word I'm looking for, give grace to children.
Mm.
If a child is playing up or what, and you think,
Yeah.
oh, maybe this is
Yeah.
ADHD, you automatically think that. But certain traits in adults, we go to, but you should know better.
Yes.
We never give them the grace that their brain is not allowing them to, or that they are fighting something
Yes.
internally.
Yes.
So that really got me thinking a lot, on that episode. So that was a really good one.
I think another one for me was the gender roles. I didn't realize just it. I think it did what we thought it was going to do. It got people talking.
Yeah, it's always a very
It's
testy
quite a yeah,
subject.
yeah,
It
yeah.
actually is.
It's one that I don't think that wherever, like I said, my opinion is my opinion. Um, but I think that more than ever before, people just need to live. Do you
Mm,
understand what I mean? I
mm.
think, this whole wanting, I go back to the point earlier that I made that about people are so static because this is a man's role, this is a woman's role. Therefore, there's no because if a woman starts to do what a man is doing, or a man starts to do what a woman is doing, then the woman becomes the head of the home.
Like, really?
And it's really, I think recently we spoke to somebody which will in later on in the season, who made a really important point about if a woman is doing well, it's a reflection of who you are as a man. And I think that for many men, there's that fear that when your wife is doing better than you, it takes she takes that position.
Absolutely not.
But it doesn't, because sometimes it's okay to let your wife shine,
Of course.
because your wife shining is meaning that you're shining too.
Absolutely.
But I think that for many, because of how our society is shaped, it's made to look like the woman needs to always remain in the shadows and the man needs to shine, and that's what makes him the head of the home.
Mm,
I think, and for me, that's a mindset that really needs to shift.
absolutely. I feel some of these things is actually even a trauma response. Where people are so hardlined about certain things. It goes beyond the actual event.
Mm.
There is something that hasn't healed in you,
Yep.
that you probably don't even realize. That's why your reaction is so hard towards certain
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Um, what would you say you learned about yourself in doing a podcast?
That I'm adaptable. because there were a lot of bloopers that we had while shooting. And the me of, or the person I thought I was, would freeze in the moment.
Yeah.
And there are times that actually in the past I probably would have.
Yeah.
But just the ability that actually just keep going.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
that was a good learning about myself.
Yeah. And I think very similar to you, actually. I think what I learned about myself is I can do more than I give myself credit for.
Yep.
I mean, prior to this, I don't think I've even heard what I've heard of Canva,
You have
but
done better
I
than
do not know what's, when you tell me, oh, go and do something, I'm like, how am I learning a new software or whatever? But when there was nobody to do it,
yeah.
I had to step up because it has to go.
Had to be
It
done.
had to be done, and I have to say, I think I produced some
You
good quality
did
outputs.
good.
Yeah,
You did
yeah,
good.
I'm
You
proud
did
of
good.
myself.
Well done. Well
But
done.
yeah, I think that's the thing that I think I learned about myself. When the chips are down, we have to. There was nobody else to do it, so we had to
Yeah.
lean on our team is really small.
Very.
And there's a limit to what they can do,
And
and
everyone, I think everyone, apart from this, everyone actually has full-time jobs. Highly pressured roles.
as the pressure is building for everyone,
Yeah.
we just have to. So I think that's the key thing that we learned.
Yeah. And I think that I know more than I give myself credit for.
Absolutely.
When I say that in being able to speak into some of the topics that we explored, looking back and listening to some of those things, and you're looking at yourself that, oh, okay, you have sense, Sha. Because you don't realize how much information you gather, pick along the way.
That's true.
When you're actually, when we're sat here and it's the time that we have to really explore some of these topics, I would say that to a large extent, and just purely on feedback that we've had, it's been so reassuring to know that we have, at least as far as we have reached, people have felt impacted by the conversations that we've had.
Absolutely. And the thing we set out to do was to get people talking, to facilitate this conversation. And I think we did do that because, from the messages that people say, it makes like, oh, this thing you said, I haven't thought about it in that way. Or it means, I mean, couples have called us that based off a topic, it stirred the conversation in their home as well. So that's really what we set out to do. And I'm really glad that we did that.
Yeah.
So season 2. What you most looking forward to?
I think this season we are looking at getting more people on the podcast. So I'm really looking forward to those conversations.
Yep.
Again, for pressure to be taken off me. But not that I mind. I actually enjoy talking. But I think more importantly, we want to widen our reach this season. We want to really, I think, going for those very hard conversations that a lot of people run away from.
Yeah.
Not being afraid to have those conversations.
Absolutely.
I think we, more than ever before, for the sake of our children, for the sake of our marriages, for the sake of society in general, these are conversations that we need to have.
Absolutely. Same as well, really. I think it was the feedback. One of the first things that we did get back as feedback was, get more guests on.
Yeah.
People obviously enjoyed us talking with one another, but it was like, we like your vibe. We also would like to hear from, other people because, you have those, you pull out insights from conversations. So we've listened and hopefully we are going to give you very good quality conversations, even better than what we did in season 1.
Absolutely.
So
watch out.
Watch this space. Watch this space, and we really, really hope you would come on this journey with us for yet another season.
And Uju and I are so thankful for every single person who followed us, held us throughout season 1. We had consistent people. Like, in fact, I think there were some times where, like, when is the next episode? when is the next episode dropping? So it was so nice to see. And we really hope that season 2 will have more of that. We want more open and honest conversations. And that is certainly something that we are looking forward to. So we hope you come along with us season 2. Lots and lots of exciting things that are going to happen. Trust and believe.
Absolutely. So on that note, please continue to like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah.